If Kane is the gatekeeper, so would that make Triple H the Keymaster? For those that got that reference, I love you. For those that didn't, go Google it. You'll find out what it is. But either or, guys, I'm doing my best to not crap all on this Raw. Even though this Raw really wasn't all that great, but it wasn't bad. It actually did have a few high points. And excuse my voice, allergies. But despite all that, let's talk about some of the good points. It's always great to see somebody go heel that may benefit them. And I'm talking about Naomi. It's great to actually see Naomi go heel. She really did need somewhat of an edge to separate herself from her husband and to no longer be a valet. This chick can brawl. Not to mention that she's actually a really great athlete. She's the most athletic diva on the Divas roster. She should have had her own feud by now, and she should have been a champion by now. And seeing how she has beat Nikki multiple times and still hasn't gotten a title shot, she has a legitimate gripe. But I have one thing that kind of bothers me, especially what I saw this past Raw, that she really does need to change a few things. Number one, she needs to change her happy hair. Number two, she needs to change her happy little uniform. Number three, she needs to change her happy little finisher that makes guys happy. And number two, well, four, she needs to change her happy little Funkadactyl song. She should have changed that Funkadactyl song a long time ago. Just like how Ariane changed hers, or Cameron, how she changed hers when she separated herself from the Funkadactyls. She needs to change hers altogether and just leave the Funkadactyl thing behind and find something that fits her. I know it only has been a week, so it's really difficult to find interest music that fits you that quick. Especially if you want to use an artist, you have to go through licensing rights. You got to go through all this other rigmarole and red tape to get what you want. So I know it's going to probably take a little while. But I'm hoping that she's going to actually think about maybe changing her attire, her look, her hair, everything to make her seem serious. And unfortunately, that's what women have to do because their characters are a little bit more detailed than the men. So she has to literally change pretty much her entire look, and hopefully she'll be taken a little bit more seriously. But her being a heel and not really changing those looks at that moment really kind of takes away from that. But it might change later down the line. It might be different next week. I don't know. So I'm not going to hate on that completely. But I'm hoping that that's something that's going to be in the works. But moving on from there. It was really great to actually see Bo Dallas again. I never thought that I would actually miss him, but I really did. Even though he had his butt handed to him by Roman Reigns, I don't care. At least I had an opportunity to hear Bo. It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. I really enjoyed it. But it kind of does sell Bo Dallas short. Bo Dallas is a great character. He's a very condescending character that thinks he means well, but technically he's not. But either or, he's a really great character, and it's kind of messed up that he had his butt handed to him by Roman Reigns. I would have liked to see somewhat of a battle that maybe lasted 2 minutes to make Bo Dallas seem decent, and I would rather him get beat up by somebody on the same level than Roman Reigns because he just looked like he was squashed. It really does, and he just came back. So I think it was a really bad call to have Bo Dallas out there to get his butt handed to him by Roman Reigns when you just made a return. You want the character to be taken seriously a little bit, as well as the character having a bit of a build. That's just me personally. But I would not have chose Roman Reigns as the guy to beat him up. That's just me. But here's one thing that I kind of have a legitimate gripe about. Well, maybe my second legitimate gripe of the night. Now, this is the gimmick match. The gimmick match with Miz versus Mizdow. This is a pay-per-view worthy match. This is a pay-per-view worthy match at Extreme Rules that should have happened at Extreme Rules and not Raw. Why in the world are you going to allow this to happen on Raw and not Extreme Rules? Unless Miz or Mizdow had reservations on that night and they couldn't be there. That could be another case. But either or, I'm hoping that's not the case because technically this was a really good pay-per-view match. It went pretty well. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. It wasn't that bad. The ending was expected. It was predictable. Do you honestly believe that The Miz is going to lose his entire gimmick to Mizdow? No. And I really don't know where I really don't know where Damien Sandow is going to go from here. I really don't know. Because the one thing that got him over was when he was Mizdow. But now that he's not Mizdow anymore, what is he going to do? He can't go back to being the intellectual savior of the masses. I mean, he can't go back to being a mime or I don't know, a stunt double, whatever they call him. He can't go back to that. So right now, where can he go from here? And speaking of where can you go from here, Bray Wyatt, where can you go from here, dude? Like, seriously, you have been literally beaten down in every single major pay-per-view there was. He has not had a decent win that would count towards his career in a very long time. So how in the world can you really take him seriously? Which kind of shows in his promo. He's probably self-loathing for the fact that he got his butt handed to him by The Undertaker, and every single match since in every pay-per-view he has always had a loss. He has never won, which is really career damaging. Like, it's not going to make your push go any faster if you keep having all these major losses. So that's the only messed up part. With somebody as interesting as Bray Wyatt, where can you really go from there? Seriously, where? But honestly, and another match that really does confuse me a bit is the match that they're going to have with Cena and Rusev. Why in the world are they going to call it the Russian chain match or the Russian... So I don't know what it is. The Russian chain match, Russian something. If you know what the name of it is, because I don't care or even know. But if you want to tell me, leave it in the comments. It's a freaking four corners match, people. It's a four corners match with a chain. And why call it the Russian chain match? What, it's literally, it's a chain made in Russia? Or what, is it doused in Russian vodka? What? I don't know. And yes, that, I don't want to make that a stereotype I don't want to make that a stereotype for those who are watching who are from Russia. But I will not deny, Russian vodka is good vodka. I'm just going to say that. But regardless of that, I will say that it makes no sense to call it a Russian chain match. It makes no sense to call it that at all. It's pretty much a four corners match. That's what it is. It's a four corners match, guys. I really wish they came up with a better name. But that's just me. Maybe I'm being a bit picky about it. But I will say that the main event was kind of blah. It was pretty much all about the feud between Kane and Seth Rollins. It really shouldn't have been Dolph Ziggler in it at all because he wasn't going to win. And seriously, I can't say that it's bad for Dolph because Dolph does have a pay-per-view match between him and Sheamus, which is pretty interesting in itself. And speaking of Sheamus, the match that he had with poor Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder has done everything he could to get over, and nothing has worked. The only thing that has worked was his internet show, but it got bought out by WWE, so now he can't even use it anymore. And now when he actually had a match with Sheamus, he got nailed. And you gotta feel bad for the guy. Especially now that he's actually trying to be taken seriously. He changed his entire gimmick, his hair, everything. And he still gets nothing. That kind of breaks my heart right there. But the one thing I am going to say is there's not going to be a Divas match in this pay-per-view. So I really wasn't expecting that either. But either or, my overall thoughts of this show is this. It was okay in the beginning. It was great in the middle, but it slowed down in the end to where it was really hard to pay attention to it. It had its really great high points, such as Naomi's heel turn, seeing Bo Dallas again, finally seeing Kane get angry, especially get angry towards Seth Rollins, which was amazing to see, and seeing the feud continue down the line towards the end of the show. But some of the matches that were on there made sense, especially, it made no sense, to be honest with you. I'm going to change that. It made no sense. Some of the matches made no sense. Some of the feuds actually did make some kind of sense. But it was kind of like, as usual. But usually Extreme Rules is one of the best pay-per-views they have starting off from WrestleMania. So I actually do have some high hopes for this pay-per-view. So I really hope that the build kind of continues to this pay-per-view and it starts to build up to an apex to where it actually leads to a good pay-per-view. But overall, this show was meh. But I'm hoping it'll be better next week. But guys, what are your thoughts on this? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Send me a video response on how you personally feel about this Raw and what do you think should be improved. I'm just curious what you guys' thoughts are. This is Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.